All right, hello and welcome to today's embodiment practice. We have um, a bit of an intro practice today. We're going to be doing authentic flow, and I wanted to give maybe some, I don't know if you want to call it motivation or some reasons behind why free movement might be something that you want to do. Excuse me. Hmm. Because if you've been practicing just asana or vinyasa, if you've been really in a kind of a structured yoga practice, then coming into this kind of practice where we're doing free movement a fair bit of the time could feel a bit jarring, it could feel uncomfortable, and maybe sometimes you could be wondering why? Why are we doing this? And for some of you, it might be clear, but I just wanted to talk about it for a minute. And I really think there's something very valuable here. And I've practiced yoga for a long time, and I did just asana, just vinyasa for probably 20 years. And when I first, I sort of accidentally got myself into an embodied flow retreat, and we were doing these long, like 2 hour free movement practices. And I was like, hating it. I was just like, what are we doing here? Well, I'm just like flailing myself around the room. And I was participating, but I was definitely, there was a lot of friction inside. I was like, just give me a sun salutation, geez. And but I did finally let go into it when I realized what's available there. And there's this really amazing shift in consciousness that can occur when we step out of the container, out of the structure, and we start to let something else move the body. And it takes going into some uncomfortable spaces. And it's not like crazy uncomfortable. It might be for you. So definitely give yourself asana, give yourself structure when you need it. But it can feel like this is boring or I don't know what to do but you kind of have to get into a space of unknowing. You have to come into this space where there's a sort of a void that opens up, and then a different state of awareness can come in. And this is generally a combination of the music. So the music I find to be really powerful. I always say you don't have to use it. And especially because Spotify costs money, you need a Spotify account. And it's not required, but it's helpful, especially if you're newer to this type of work. It's helpful. The music can help bring you into a different state of mind and actually shift your awareness. It's sometimes it's called music therapy, and just in general, you know that cultures all over the world have used music for changing our awareness. So it's going into this state of unknown. It's leaving structure, allowing the music to resonate in your body, and then just like using the meditative techniques that you may know of being with what is, allowing things to arise, and then going with the energy that's inside. And yeah, I don't think I want to say too much more about it, but just know if you haven't experienced a shift in consciousness in any of these classes, that it's available to you. It's not something you have to try and make happen, but it is something you have to kind of let go of your previous modes of practicing and let go of your previous ways of being, and kind of step into the unknown and try something different. Allow yourself to move in unexpected ways. And so there'll be time for that today. We'll be doing some of everything, some asana and some free spaces. And I don't demo in these classes, but I will do a little demonstration today for that purpose. So let's get our playlist synced up, get your Spotify ready. We're going to count down, and when I say play, we'll all hit play together. So 3, 2, 1, play. And the first track is silent because we're going to meditate. So you can just sit or stand or lay, however you like. And focus on your breathing. Or we could say, allow your attention to rest on the sound of your breath, on the sensations of your breath. And if you'd like right now, inviting a curiosity, maybe even if it feels right, inviting the unknown. Inviting the unknown into your practice. Notice if you can feel tension somewhere in your body, some places in your body. And instead of trying to get rid of that tension or trying to relax it, see if you can make space around it. If you can breathe into it. Because any tension that is present is serving some purpose, or it thinks it's serving a purpose. And so allowing and making space can really set us up to be with whatever is present. And we're going to start with some structure. So coming onto hands and knees for cat's breath. Rounding the spine as you exhale. Coming into a back bend as you inhale. Just a few times on your own, focusing on feeling the sensations in your body. And then from here, we're going back to downward dog. And you can always modify any of these poses, any of these movements. You can modify them any way you need to. In this type of practice, we're not focusing on alignment other than whatever you need to do to feel like you're not in pain, the poses aren't hurting you. Downward dog, hips are in the sky in like an A-frame shape. And just feel the sensations. Get curious. And then from here, step forward to forward bend. Relax the neck. Relax the arms. Deep breath. And then rising up to standing. Reach up, reach back. Standing back bend. And then just letting the arms relax down. Balancing the weight on your feet. And feeling your whole body here. Also feeling your state of mind, mental, emotional. Maybe breathing into your heart, feeling whatever emotions, whatever mood is present. And now we're going into any movement that you would like to do. So we always start out authentic flow practice with a song in the beginning where we just really get into your own body in your own way. And this can be, so I'm going to do my own thing here. This is not me demonstrating what you should be doing. This is me getting into my own body for today, and you should do that in your own way. And so what I'm doing is I'm just listening, kind of my mind gets still and I go inside, and then I just let my body move itself. Right? I didn't have the idea to stretch the top of my feet. I just found myself doing it. And so you might get a little wild, just in not in the sense of like super energetic, although you could, but just let your body do its body thing. And you'll notice that this is a very different state of mind than one where you're just following a sequence. Right? It feels different. It's a different approach. There's a different type of awareness that you have to have. And there's that allowing of the unknown. And the music is always like a prompt, but sometimes the music might not feel right for you. Right? It can't feel right all the time. So you could be kind of going with the music, but you also could be in a very different rhythm from the music. It doesn't have to be going anywhere. There's no ultimate thing that you're trying to get to. Okay, so making your way now towards the front of the mat. And you can always go off on your own, especially if you're more used to this type of practice. Know that you are free always. And the way we'll do this, we're going to go into some sun salutations, and I'll start by instructing them, and then we'll get progressively more free as we go. So just standing at the front of the mat, hands together at the heart, inviting the unknown with your breath. And then reach up as you inhale. You can try a back bend here if you like. Exhale, forward bend. Breathing into your whole body. And then plank pose, stepping or jumping back. Take a breath in plank. And lower to the ground as you exhale. And prioritizing feeling over any specific alignment. Move your hands for cobra. Lifting up through the heart. And then we'll press back to downward dog. Few breaths. And then forward bend, stepping, jumping forward. And rise all the way up. Reach up into the back bend. And then hands together at the heart. And again, inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, forward bend. And so in forward bend, take a breath here and maybe bend one knee and then the other. Just starting with a little bit of movement in the forward bend. Kind of exploring the pose in your body. Relax the neck a little bit more. And then back to plank. Feet to the back of the mat. Take a deep inhale here. Allow your body to explore the plank, maybe shifting forward and back, maybe side to side. And then down all the way onto the belly. And inhale up into cobra. Heart lifts, legs and pelvis are on the ground. See what movement you can bring here. A little bit of undulation in the spine, side to side. And then we'll go back to downward dog. And so, all of these movements I'm encouraging are optional, and they should be used to explore your body. Maybe bending one knee here and then the other. And then stepping, jumping forward. Forward bend. Your own forward bend. And then rising up. Reaching back. And standing, hands together at the heart. So now you'll go into your own sun salutation. It can be the same one that we just did, but your own, or you can do another version entirely with other poses, with completely different poses. So just let your body flow. You're not matching me now. I'm listening to my body. You're listening to your body. You can even close your eyes. And if you're used to doing a lot of asana, what I'll invite you to do here is try not to just fall back on your favorite sequences. Try to really allow something new to arise. That is the practice here. It doesn't even have to look like a pose. All right, so bringing that to completion, just letting it continue if you're finishing up something. Eventually, we're going to make our way to standing. And you never have to just pop up when I say that. Let your body organically bring you. Feeling the integration of everything that just happened. Maybe taking a breath in relative stillness. Feeling the new rhythm coming into your body. So we're going into some squats, some malasana. So you can step your feet a little wide, have your toes pointed out. And you can have your hands in namaste, or you can have I think this is the Ganapati mudra or the Yoni mudra. Ganapati is holding the fists. Yoni is making the diamond. And you can reach your hands up. You don't have to have any mudra if you don't want to. And then we're going to bring the arms down and squat the hips down just a little. We're just starting easy and then back up. And just let your breath flow with this. Exhaling down, sweeping the arms down, sinking down, inhaling up. Maybe starting to let the squat get a little deeper. You may need to adjust your feet. A little wider, a little narrower. And breathing into the strength that we're starting to build in the legs. It's one thing that can start to happen as we're doing some of this free movement is that the body can very easily sort of avoid anything that feels too challenging. You just go into this sort of wiggly bliss thing. And so it's also good to know that the mind has some deeper layers. The mind is not always just verbal, right? Sometimes something the body can really want, some really strong activation, some challenging moves, the mind will have this really subtle way of being like, no, that's too hard. Let's not do that. So I'll invite you in this round. You can start to modify this, start to let it evolve in your body. See how your body wants to move. And just start to differentiate between the mind that wants to avoid discomfort and the body that wants to explore. Sometimes the exploration can go into a place of really strong activation, really great strength. It's all included. Whatever's happening is part of the process. Let the intensity move your body in and out. And then just eventually letting that go. And as you look inside, feel what has shifted. If any space has been created, Sometimes we move the body and it actually feels as if we created space in the mind. So they're not two things. There's only one thing happening here, there. So just let that integrate. It could integrate in stillness. There could be kind of integration movement, maybe self touch, feeling your body. Sometimes there are sounds. Big sighs. And if you haven't taken some total stillness, just before we start to move again, maybe if it feels right, let total stillness arrive. And then we'll go into another sequence. So starting with a warrior 2, you can step your feet wide. We'll have, it doesn't matter which side you start with. It just doesn't matter. We're not doing anything specific with alignment. We're not trying to balance the sides, right? This is an awareness practice. We're inviting the unknown. So one leg is forward, the knee is bent, the other leg is back, the leg is straight. And your torso is facing to the side, arms open wide. And breathe here. Experiment with going deeper with the front leg. Maybe if you tend to go really deeply with the front leg, experiment with not doing that. Getting as curious about your mental, emotional reactions as you are about the sensations in your body. And then triangle, straightening that front leg, Trikonasana. Reach the arm down towards the leg, other arm to the sky. Relax your jaw. Notice what your body's doing with the alignment here. If you have a real strong asana practice, you can have this very tight alignment thing that happens. Just see if you can explore that a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then extended side angle, bending that knee again. And you can either bring the hand down to the floor, or you can have your elbow on your knee. Top arm extends over the head. And then just optional here, you can either bring both hands down and have this kind of runner's lunge, or some of you may want to do Ardha Chandrasana, balancing on the front foot. So either one is fine. Just feeling where your energy's at today. And then we'll release that back foot down. And we'll just change to the other side. You can do that by going through a vinyasa. You can just change your legs. So I'm going to guide you through the other side, and then you'll go through these on your own. Okay, so warrior 2 is how we start. Front knee bent. Arms extend. Playing with the depth of the front knee. And then triangle, trikonasana, straightening the leg. Bring that arm down to the leg or the floor. Top arm to the sky. And just feeling the little minuscule movements, adjustments, ways that your body responds. Maybe in the past you've tried to fix those and kind of get your body into alignment, but now we just listen, get curious. Sometimes we let those things move us a lot. Extended side angle, bend the knee, hand to the floor or elbow to the knee. And then either runner's lunge, kind of staying low, easier to balance, or if you like Ardha Chandrasana, standing on the front leg, back leg comes up, opening the torso to the side. And then release that. And you can start over on the first side, and it's almost like an essay prompt. The prompt is warrior 2, triangle, extended side angle, lunge, or Ardha Chandrasana, and then your body is going to write the essay. See what happens. So that means you don't even have to stay with the poses. You might use each pose as a structure to explore within, but you might find immediately that your body goes somewhere else, and listen to it. Listen to your body. When I get quiet, you let your own experience get louder. Good, beautiful. Let that take you wherever it's taking you. Eventually, eventually you'll end up in a low lunge. And just maybe circling the hips around in your low lunge. If you're not there yet, it's perfect. You're in your own experience. And I'm here for you when you're ready. Just kind of exploring the low lunge, circling the hips around. Finding out if you can reach a place where something other than your mind is moving your body. It's like an instinctual movement that arises. You only have to step out of the way. Maybe letting your torso come up in the lunge so you have a little back bend, and then coming down to round your spine however you want with your legs, but just letting there be a little pumping action in the central channel. And then you'll go to the other side of the lunge when you're ready. Just really listening for that moment when you're ready. Not needing to move as soon as the invitation comes. On the other side, you're circling your hips again, or any movement. If you like, bringing in the back bend and the rounding of the spine from within the lunge. Seeing how does that evolve in your body. Remember, it can be good to close your eyes. And so now for just a few minutes, we're letting go of the structure entirely. And for some of you, this will feel very natural to just let your body guide you. And for some of you who are really used to staying in structure and in asana, you might really want to go to some of your favorite poses or sequences, and that's completely fine. I really encourage you, whether it's in this practice or another practice, to really try stepping out of that. Even if it feels a little bit like you don't know what to do or like you're doing it wrong, you're not. Just allow your body, yourself, to express what it's like to be you in this moment through your movement. And there's no rules. You could be standing, sitting, rolling around on the floor. But let it be something unknown. You are free to move. You are beautiful exactly as it's happening. And if you like a moment of integration, maybe in stillness, and in about a minute, we'll meet on the ground. Just see how your body wants to get there. Acknowledging whatever's present for you. And once you lay on your back, just let a little movement arise, maybe moving the legs, the arms. When you first start to let this movement arise, it can feel awkward and it can feel like you're making it up or like you're just doing something random. These are just labels the mind gives. You will be able to feel the deep intelligence of the body once you let it arise. So we're going now into a laying down twist. We'll bend the left knee, hug it in. And then we'll cross that left knee over to the right side. And in the same pattern, maybe just letting the first few breaths, your body receive the pose, settle in. And then you could start to let the deeper intelligence move. And sometimes that means you're still. It doesn't mean you have to move all the time. Once you develop that inner listening, you'll know without a doubt when stillness is preferred, is required, and when movement is the medicine. And then you'll listen for when to move to the other side. You may have already felt it and been kind of waiting, or maybe really enjoying this side. No need to second guess, just go with it. Whether that means staying or switching. Just feeling if there's any energy that wants to move the body while you're in the pose. So it doesn't have to be static or held. And then eventually making our way to a resting position. Staying in that pose longer if it feels right. And we have a silent period now for total rest. If anything feels like it's still in process for you, that resting just doesn't feel right, then go with that. You could sit in meditation. You could continue movement. But really allow the silence to be absorbed into your body. If you're ready for stillness, then just rest in the stillness. Taking a deeper breath. Start to move a little bit. It's always nice to take a moment at the end of the practice to just orient so that there's a bit of a transition. You're not leaping up, getting back to the day, but maybe even touching your body, looking around at the things in your room. And you can even lay down for longer if you want, if that works for you today. I recommend it. Or you can sit up to close the practice. Thank you so much for diving into the unknown with me today. It does take practice to access some of these different states that we can get to through movement. But it's just like any other meditative practice. It does take some work and some time. So I hope that you do devote yourself to that at some point. Namaste.